meant. Do you stand by that statement you made on March 13th?
We have untied the hands of our warfighters. We fight to win, and we follow the law.
Okay, so you're not clarifying. So you stand by that statement. So you're the Secretary of Defense. The things you say matter. And your response here, right now, makes it clear to the American people exactly why you are not right for this job.
Boom. Straight to the point. No punches pulled. That was the exact second Senator Mark Kelly locked eyes with Pete Hegseth and unequivocally stated, "You are entirely unqualified to hold the office of the U.S. Secretary of Defense. I need the whole nation to pay close attention to this footage." It is incredibly rare in congressional history to see a high-ranking figure like Pete Hegseth floundering and trapped so thoroughly by Mark Kelly's airtight logic. This goes far beyond a standard budget dispute. Kelly essentially delivered a final warning to the committee, dismantling Hegseth's dodging tactics. They are directly addressing a deadlocked war, a careless $100 billion munitions tab, and, most alarmingly, Pete Hegseth uttering words that seemingly breach the very laws of armed conflict. Let's see exactly how Kelly pins Hegseth down and starts tearing into this astronomical bill.
Chairman, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Secretary Hegseth, safe to say that our weapons like SM-3s, Tomahawks, Patriot missiles have capabilities that are unmatched. That's why they cost a lot, take a long time to produce. Your budget requests $31.8 billion to expand production capacity for critical missile stockpiles. Is that correct? 31.8?
I'm looking at $53 billion for munitions acceleration over 14 critical munitions, of which the ones you listed are a part.
Okay,
so I believe more than that. Yes, sir.
More than $20 billion more. So we've been working together to grow the industrial base because we're all worried about how our stockpiles would hold up in a conflict against China. Since the start of this war, you've made it a point to highlight the number of strikes the U.S. military is carrying out, citing that more than 13,000 targets had been struck as of April 8th. On March 2nd, you said, and this is a quote, "This was a massive, overwhelming attack across all domains of warfare, striking more than 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours. On March 10th, you said, "Yet again, our most intense day of strikes inside of Iran." On April 6th, you said, and this is another quote, "The largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation." Your department has released video after video of things blowing up. None of us doubt the strength of the U.S. military and their ability to do hard things. I understand that better than anybody. The questions we should be asking and answering are, what does this cost us and what does it achieve for the American people? Many of these strikes use our best weapons, and we're using a lot of them and a lot of interceptors. Open source reporting has estimated that the military has used an outrageous number of Patriots. I'm not even going to say the numbers, but a lot of Patriots, a lot of THAAD rounds, JASSM-ER, Tomahawks, very expensive, exquisite. We can't make these munitions overnight, and it's clear from your budget request that you know that. Can you tell us how many years?
We're looking at a colossal invoice that Secretary Hegseth appears desperate to avoid. Kelly came armed with the indisputable facts. The Pentagon has been bragging about striking upwards of 13,000 targets, constantly publishing footage of massive explosions. But Kelly highlighted a critical vulnerability. We are deploying our priciest, top-tier interceptors, like Patriots, Tomahawks, and JASSM-ASMs, to eliminate these threats. When Kelly pushed Hegseth for a precise timeline and price tag to rebuild this shrinking strategic reserve, the Defense Secretary had to confess to an alarming figure, one that blows past any normal financial projection.
Specifically, is it going to take to replace these systems?
Senator, thank you for the question. I would defer to the comptroller on the amount because I think it's a lot higher than 53. If you look at long-range fires, JASSMs, LRASMs, Tomahawks, we're looking at $238 billion.
Okay,
we're looking at $40 billion for hypersonic. So I actually think it's closer to $330 billion in munitions.
Okay, how many years to replenish? That's the question.
I think that's exactly the right question, too, Senator, because the time frame we were existing under was unacceptable.
Okay, well,
and
tell
what this
me,
budget does, I mean, months and years, fast.
Years.
I mean, we're building new plants in real time.
So just to replace what we have
2x,
expended.
I said months.
It wasn't the $31.8 billion originally asked for. The true cost for weaponry is nearing a staggering $330 billion. Hegseth was forced to concede that America will need years to construct new factories, merely to restock what we've already fired. It's a brutal wake-up call that our military-industrial capacity is being pushed to the breaking point. Let's contextualize that $330 billion. These aren't simply theoretical digits on a Department of Defense ledger. This is public funding. It's your hard-earned cash. At a time when households across the country are fighting to buy basic groceries, dealing with unprecedented interest rates, and seeing their community infrastructure decay, Washington is handing a blank check to defense contractors. The cost of a single Patriot missile carries a price tag of $2 to $4 million. Whenever we launch one to swat down an inexpensive drone, we are effectively incinerating American tax revenue over the desert. And Hegseth's nonchalant remark that we require 2 to 3, 4 times our current inventory guarantees this economic hemorrhage will only speed up. However, Senator Kelly didn't just linger on the fiscal damage. He unveiled the most devastating reality of this whole operation.
They allocated elsewhere.
Okay, I got it. So
and
we
we're
fired
rapidly doing
years
it quickly.
worth of munitions. And it is clear that these are being expended to try to achieve some objectives. That was the plan. But, Mr. Secretary, this war is stuck. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. The Iranian regime is in place. The nuclear material still in their hands. Americans are being crushed by higher costs. And it's not clear to them at all what the goal of this war is.
A tactical assessment that is as sharp as a scalpel. We've exhausted years of ammunition reserves, but the tangible achievements on the battlefield equate to zero. The Strait of Hormuz remains blocked. The Iranian government is still firmly in power. Their nuclear ambitions are entirely unscathed. When the Strait of Hormuz is shut down, the fallout isn't contained to the Middle East. It hits your bank account directly. Roughly 20% of the globe's oil travels through that tight bottleneck. Blocking it translates to exploding gas prices at the pump, runaway inflation, and fractured supply networks worldwide. This goes beyond a battlefield gridlock. It is an economic chokehold on everyday Americans. Despite this, the Pentagon is demanding extra time, extra funding, and extra weaponry while lacking any logical exit plan. In the meantime, who foots the bill? It's America's working and middle classes, collapsing under a heavy tax load to bankroll a forever war devoid of a defined objective. At this moment, Kelly springs the trap. He shifts his offensive from military blunders to a vastly graver concern: the ethical integrity and adherence to international law by the Pentagon's top brass.
So, I've got about a minute, and I want to go to another topic. I saw your hearing yesterday, and I'm going to give you one more chance to address a question here. It's my understanding that the definition of no quarter is that legitimate offers of surrender will be refused, or that detainees will be executed. Is that your understanding of the definition?
The only entity that would kill detainees or target civilians is the Iranians, and they're the ones being crushed.
So
it's the Iranian military and their military capability.
The question is,
I disagree completely with your articulation.
No, do you understand the definition that I just read you? Because that's the definition from your department's Law of War manual.
Much like holding up the Constitution as undeniable proof, Kelly weaponized the Defense Department's very own Law of War manual to grill the man leading the agency. He zeroed in squarely on Hegseth's remarks from March 13th, where he proclaimed, "No quarter, no mercy for our enemies." Within military jargon and global law, giving no quarter isn't just motivational rhetoric. It has a horrifying legal meaning, denying valid surrender attempts or putting prisoners of war to death. Kelly posed an incredibly basic query: do you comprehend the legal standard established by the department you run? Watch closely as Hegseth squirms, pivoting the blame to Iran, flatly refusing to give a straight yes or no. Kelly refuses to let him slide.
Is that your understanding? And I'm gonna just get to the point here.
We fight to win and we follow the law, Senator.
Okay, so your quote was, "We will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies. And yesterday, you did not clarify whether you stand by this statement. So I'm going to give you another opportunity to clarify if that is what you meant. Do you stand by that statement you made on March 13th?
Hegseth defaults to regurgitating a hollow political catchphrase, "We have untied the hands of our warfighters, we fight to win," rather than offering the accountable answer expected from a cabinet secretary. When the leader of the Defense Department lacks the courage to clarify or retract his own words about a potential war crime, the illusion of authority and justice totally falls apart. Kelly's devastating final remark, which you saw at the beginning of the video, serves as the ultimate judgment on that dodging. Secrecy and a reliance on double talk constantly pave the way for catastrophic choices, whether it involves setting fire to $330 billion of public funds in a dead-end war, or tossing aside the fundamental principles of armed conflict. This establishment proves they are eager to transform the military into a cash-burning engine that delivers zero actual security to the public. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about a defense secretary who won't clarify comments regarding the execution of detainees? Is a person like this fit to remain at the helm of the U.S. military? Has Senator Mark Kelly's intense confrontation exposing this $330 billion receipt altered how you view this ongoing conflict? Don't forget to subscribe to the Reality Report so you never miss our hard-hitting factual breakdowns. The truth demands to be seen.